And good morning. Welcome to Community Voice. It is Tuesday, November 9th, and I am your host, Josh Engel. Coming up here for one night only, talented performers from Broadway, Atlanta's professional stages, and Europe's opera houses will take the stage right here in Carrollton, Georgia, to set your toes tapping and your heart soaring as the Wallace Buice Theater Company presents your favorites, our favorites, a benefit concert for the Wallace Buice Theater Company and Scholarship. The show will feature a 12-piece orchestra, Broadway and Atlanta performers, and the most sought-after mezzo-soprano in the world, Jamie Barton. In addition to Carrollton native Taylor Buice, there will be two other Carrollton High School graduates, Blair Lipham and our own Anna Lowry, both currently pursuing performance degrees. The concert is going to be Thursday, November 11th, that is this week, this Thursday, at the Carroll County Performing Arts Center. Held as one of the best concert halls in Georgia. Very proud of that. Of course, they will open the doors for this family-friendly musical event at 7 p.m. We are joined this morning by Terry Lowry, the music director for the show, composer, as well as conductor of the Carroll Symphony Orchestra. And joining him, we have Taylor Buice, who is a producer, director, a performer, and founder of both the Wallace Buice Theater as well as Bicentennial. Good morning, gentlemen. How are y'all?
Good.
Doing well. Thanks for having us, Josh.
Of course. Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning. So this is going to be a big show. Kind of teased it there at the beginning. I know that we'll be getting into more detail here in a little bit, but first I would love to just speak a bit about your bio, your history, and what brought you here to this performance here.
Well, I'm a born and raised Carrolltonian. I grew up on Oak Avenue, right by the Carrollton High School, and I attended Carrollton City Schools. I graduated Carrollton High School in 1999, and I did performing arts all throughout high school under the tutelage of Brenda Sue Holcomb, who's very famous in this town. And I ended up going to Shorter College in Rome, Georgia, where I received a BFA in musical theater, and it was one of the only schools in the state of Georgia where you could get a BFA in musical theater at the time. But I met some amazing people, one of which is going to be Jared Bradshaw, who's a Broadway star, who's going to be coming down. He's one of my best friends in the world, and we've been best friends ever since college. And I graduated in 2003, and I was a little naive coming out of college because I was able to book the national tour of the Full Monty right out of school, and I thought, wow, this acting thing is the easiest thing in the world. Why doesn't everybody do it? And then after I got off the tour, I was able to get my equity card, which is part of the Actors Union that you have to obtain if you want to be in national tours or be on Broadway. And so I did that. I got that a few years later, and after that, everything just got a lot harder, and the competition in New York is ridiculous with how much talent there is. But after a few years there, I decided to come home. I visited my sister and my family, and my nephew Cooper was just about to be born. He's 10 years old now. And after he was born, I just said, you know what, I don't want to be there anymore. And I did some great things, but I really missed being home. And I came back to Carrollton. I started working with my father, who's an attorney here in town, Kevin Buice. And I started missing performing and directing, and so I created the Wallace Buice Theater Company to bring some professional theater to Carrollton.
Excellent. And how did you meet Terry?
Terry and I have been friends for a while. I don't even know the first time we met Terry. It was probably when I was in high school.
Well, I was teaching at Shorter, and Taylor was an outstanding performer. I saw him in several shows, Jekyll and Hyde. He was singing in a men's a cappella group called Something Else, and whenever Taylor would come back to Carrollton, I would invite him to sing at church or wherever I happened to be. And so we started performing that way. I knew what this guy could do and wanted to be on stage with him, and so did everything I could. Being a little older, doing everything I could to kind of help him make sure that people around here could still hear him. And so when he did that first Wallace Buice Theater Company production of Charlie Brown, You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, he called me. I played for that. And we've had a great relationship ever since. That nephew Cooper is a piano student of mine now, and so
full circle.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, so
and when I found out how talented Terry was, I've just been trying to exploit those talents over the years as much as possible. Yeah.
I love how artists not only take stewardship of their talent and their abilities, but they always look out for other folks and help take stewardship of their talent as well to help encourage and help them grow. Terry, I spoke a bit about your credentials before the program, but I would love if you would give us a synopsis of you as a composer and conductor and what brought you to this performance.
Well, when Taylor called and said that he had an idea to do a benefit program for the Wallace Spice Theater Company scholarship, obviously I was happy to help. And again, when Taylor's going to do a production that is going to be top level, he's going to bring in the very best people. The standards are going to be extremely high. And that's a lot of fun. You want to be able to work on a show like that, work on a project where you're really working with the highest caliber artistic talent. And so, it's just a lot of fun to put together we've put together a 12-piece orchestra, 18, 19 different instruments. It's a really big, eclectic program. Your favorites, our favorites, and Taylor will talk about that more in a minute. But the range of music on this show is so varied that having to put together just the right orchestra, write the charts just right, so that we can try to get as close to the original scoring as possible. It's just been a lot of fun. I can't wait to put it all together. We've got a dress rehearsal tomorrow night and the show Thursday. Can't wait to see how it's going to turn out, and then to do it in this concert hall. It's you mentioned earlier that it's been said to be one of the finest. I say that all the time. I don't know if I'm the one they're quoting there, but until somebody builds a better hall, I think it's the best hall in Georgia. I love playing in that concert hall. So to do this gig with these people in that room, it's going to be a special night. I mean, this kind of thing doesn't happen all the time. Every once in a while, a group will come through Carrollton. I remember Terminus Ballet came through about a year and a half ago. Clarissa Bevilacqua came and played a couple of years ago. I mean, we get world-class talent coming through town, but it doesn't happen every weekend, and so for this kind of show to come in on Thursday is a really, really special event. And so if you haven't made your plans to come, make the plan, change what you've got on the schedule. You've got to come hear these people. I've already gotten to rehearse with every single singer, so I can vouch for every one of them. It's just going to be fantastic.
Some of the top talents in the field, both in Broadway, New York Theater, and traveling shows, as well as Atlanta's own. Probably a good move that you did move down here when you did, because as we all know, in the last 3 to 5 years, Georgia has just exploded as a center of the arts, a hub of both film, theater, television. I wanted to take a step back and speak a bit about the Wallace Spice Theater Company and Scholarship. Would you speak to the founding of that company and how that led to a scholarship?
Yes, I was in a production of Jesus Christ Superstar in Atlanta in 2017. And during the show, I had met all these new people, and I said, I've really missed directing. I think I want to direct a show. Would you guys want to be in it? And they all kind of looked at me like, yeah, sure, we'll be in your show if you direct it. And I'm sure, not many people say that much. But when I called to obtain the rights to the show, they said, okay, well, what is your company name? And I said, well, I don't have one right now. And they said, well, we can't just give you the rights. You have to be an entity of some sort, whether incorporated or, an LLC. And I said, oh, okay. So that night I had remembered when we did Charlie Brown, and we called it a Wallace Spice Theater production. And I've always wanted to pay homage to my grandfather, who taught drama and speech at West Georgia College then in the 70s and 80s. And so I called them back, and I said, we're the Wallace Spice Theater Company, LLC. And during our first show, after our first show, a few Carrollton students came to see the show in Atlanta, which I thought was great that they came all the way up to Atlanta just to see this show. And after that, I said, I want to do something for them. And, I want to do something for all the students around, local students in Douglasville and just around our area. And so I started the Wallace Spice Theater Scholarship, and this will be our fourth recipient of it. We weren't able to give one, of course, last year, but we gave one in 2018. We actually gave two, to one male and one female. And then in 2019, Anna got it, Terry's daughter, and who is now in NYU at one of the most prestigious musical theater schools in the country. And then this year, Taya Taylor, who played our Audrey in Little Shop of Horrors, we did it for the Carrollton Teen Theater. She is pursuing a degree, which I thought was amazing, in medical music therapy. And I just thought that was amazing. So
it's an emerging field. I mean, it's growing daily.
And I knew really nothing about it. And, I did some research and she told me about it, and her passion for it was just amazing. So this is a scholarship that I hope one day will be a full scholarship, which is, almost a pipe dream, but it's something I would love to do for as many students as possible around the area, because there are very few fine art scholarships. And I would love to be able to help a student who really wants to go to school do this.
The time is 8:40 a.m. We're going to go ahead and take our first break, but when we come back, we will continue our conversation with Terry Lowry and Taylor Buice as we discuss the upcoming show this Thursday, Your Favorites, Our Favorites, a benefit concert for the Wallace Buice Theater Company and Scholarship. That is this Thursday at 7 p.m. at the Carroll County Performing Arts Center, so stay with us.
Health is a journey. It's making better choices, even when it's not easy. It's taking care of yourself and the people you love. At Tanner Health System, we're there for you with every step, with primary care, heart care, cancer care, women's care, orthopedics, surgical services, and so much more. We're dedicated to helping you live and feel your best. So let's get on that journey to health. You've got places to be for many years to come. Find us at tanner.org.
As a graduate of Oak Mountain Academy, I've found that my experience on the mountain prepared me beyond all expectations. As a junior at Auburn University, I approached my studies with great confidence thanks to what I learned at OMA. When I think back on my time on the mountain, I think of my teachers. Their genuine love and concern for me as a student was always evident, and now, as an adult, I still foster those relationships. I'm Carly Robinson, an Oak Mountain Academy alum. Visit oakmountain.us to see how you can offer your child an amazing opportunity to be a warrior.
And we're back to Community Voice. I am your host, Josh Engel. Today we're chatting about the upcoming concert, Your Favorites, Our Favorites, a benefit concert for the Wallace Buice Theater Company and Scholarship. It is this Thursday, November 11th at 7 p.m. at the Carroll County Performing Arts Center. Tickets are still available, and this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to see both Broadway, Atlanta performers, musicians that have toured Europe, and, of course, the music being conducted by our very own Terry Lowry, the music director for the show, composer and conductor of the Carroll Symphony Orchestra, and performer, producer and director, and founder of the Wallace Buice Theater Company and Bicentennial, Taylor Buice. So let's chat about this event here. How did this come together?
Well, originally, I wanted to have something to release in January to say, hey, Wallace Buice Theater is back. And I called Terry, and my original idea was to rent the concert hall and just to kind of hire a film crew and make a few almost like music videos, if you will, that I could put out and say, hey, if you guys want to watch this, please make a donation. But it turned into, when I spoke to Jamie Barton, the foremost opera singer who is going to be performing with us, she said, you know what, I'm available for that. And as soon as she said that, Terry and I were both like, or Terry said, we got to do this for the public. We can't just go in there and film it. So that's kind of what happened. I called Jamie, and she was in Paris at the time, and I called her, and she said, you know what, this is right when my vacation time starts, but I would love to come and help you out, especially, we were friends at Shorter. She's younger than I am, but, she's a star now, and I can't believe she's taking her time to come and do this for us. But that's kind of how it was. And as you mentioned earlier about Atlanta being such a film town now and a movie town, two of the actors have actually just recently moved here, as in a month ago. And when I knew they were coming, I called them and I said, would you guys like to do this and get to know some of the other people in the theater community? And they said, yeah. So that's kind of how it all came together. It was quick, but we did it efficiently, and I can't wait for it to happen.
I did want to mention we are streaming currently on Facebook Live. So if anyone would like to chime in with questions or comments for our guests about the upcoming production, feel free to hop on the WLBB Facebook page and type that in, and I'll be more than proud to read that out to our guests. Well, considering we did just start speaking about some of the performers that are going to be associated with this production, why don't we just move right into that? This is an all-star ensemble. Yes. We have talent from Europe. We have talent from Broadway, seasoned Broadway actors, and of course, incredible Atlanta actors. As we mentioned, Theater is, of course, in addition to film and television, theater is an explosive field in Atlanta. There are a lot of great theaters, a lot of great stages. Could you speak a bit on some of the performers that will be here and perhaps some of the songs or pieces they will be performing?
Yes. For all the listeners out there, I'm biased when it comes to, the people that I hire. As Terry said earlier, I want everything I do to be as top-notch, as high bar as it can be. But we have, like, Jared Bradshaw is coming in from New York, and he was in Jersey Boys for 8 years. He was the understudy for Willy Wonka and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory on Broadway, and I was lucky enough to get to go up and see him. So he is a seasoned Broadway veteran, and I know he is going to be doing a Luck Be a Lady, famous song that Terry and I are creating a Frank Sinatra song, show for him that my company Bicentennial is going to produce, and so he's going to be doing that. Brad Bass was in Wicked and Memphis and Jersey Boys on Broadway. Kate Farner was in Wicked, and some of our Atlanta talent, India Tyree, is one of the most amazing female vocalists you'll ever see. I was able to direct her in Aida, and Kevin Harry and Juan Carlos. These are just their most powerful voices in a room. Like the talent that's going to be in that room that night would blow the roof off, and I'm not even joking. And I'm coming out of retirement as well to sing. So and I haven't sung live in about 5 years. So
how are you feeling about that?
Well, if you come and see, and you'll see some mild anxiety, but it'll be fun. Yeah. So.
Well, of course, the Performing Arts Center is great because you're going to see every face in the crowd.
Yes, exactly. Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah,
Josh.
of course.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's good. I mean, it's an all-star lineup for sure, and a lot of these individuals, as you mentioned, you've had the opportunity to direct in some production. Given your time in New York, you had a chance to get to know them, work with them. How fantastic is it that all these folks, with all of their schedules, are able to come together for this night?
That was the greatest thing. When I called Terry and said, and I know not only did we have Jamie, but all these other people, I just couldn't believe that everybody's schedule, it just worked so perfectly. And that's why, I've always wanted to bring, my goal is to bring a professional theater company to Carrollton, because there's so many, like Noonan and, there's Dallas and all these other, smaller towns have these professional theater companies. And I one day want to have it so I can bring these amazing Broadway people to Carrollton to perform every single day. So, but the fact that this all lined up this way was just amazing. And, I really encourage everyone to come and see the show on Thursday. Tickets are available. Just come in. You can buy the tickets at the door, so don't even worry about finding them online. Just come up to the venue. We have 3 sections with 3 different prices, and it'll be a night I promise you will never forget.
This is an opportunity that does not come along very often, and of course, it is a benefit concert to benefit the Wallace Spice Theater Company and Scholarship, the scholarship which has gone to serve local community students, students who want to pursue the arts, pursue a career in this. Terry, you are the music director for this production. As you touched on earlier, you've had a long-standing friendship with Taylor. So how are you approaching the music direction of this performance? I imagine that we have a variety of styles, a variety of genres from different productions. How do you approach that?
Yeah. Well, just trying to get into the context of each number. I mean, I guess that's probably the biggest challenge. So we've got 12 players. I was very careful in choosing who played what, because I knew I'd need one player to be able to play 3 different instruments at different times and lots of different styles and that kind of thing. So it's a very versatile group of musicians. But, when you do a number, the actor is going to come out and they're going to be, in the mindset of that character, what's happened to the character beforehand, what's going to happen later. Because, when you perform like that, it's not like the world just starts when the song starts.
Like at a regular concert.
And the song and the world ends when the song's over. It's more like there's this invisible train of drama that's going on. We kind of step onto the train in one moment, and we ride it till the end of the tune, and we step off, and that train's going to keep going. Well, the musicians have to do that too. We don't have the luxury of the lyrics, but we have to somehow be in that frame of mind. So if we're going to do something from Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, or we're going to do something from Wild Party, or from Les Mis, or Phantom of the Opera, we've got to kind of be in that place, as if we were playing the whole show right in that moment where it happens, In musical theater,
of course, the music supplements and give additional life to scenes, to lines, to characters. So the musicians themselves, they are taking the time to put themselves in the context of this.
Yeah, we've got to sell out to it. We were practicing the other day. We're doing Music of the Night, and in the show, when you get to the end of Music of the Night, it goes right into Masquerade, which is another big tune. And so the hardest thing about it is stopping. It's like, no, stop. No, we're not going to keep going. Stop.
These are performers that are used to keeping
right.
That
They
want to
keep going into Masquerade. Right. So that's the thing is just kind of getting all in, and being able to do that for 25 numbers.
Now, of course, the infamous, very famous American mezzo-soprano Jamie Barton. She's been touring in Paris. She lives in Atlanta now. I imagine that's a bit different as far as approaching the musical direction. Whereas you have these Broadway performers that are performing scenes from particular productions. Is Jamie Barton going to be taking pieces from shows, or is she going to be performing some of her opera pieces?
Well, she's doing both. Yeah, so she's doing a couple of opera numbers. She's doing an art song, a hilarious art song called "The Alto's Lament."
It basically spoofs.
Yeah, it's a comedy routine.
Yeah, it's a comedy routine, but it'll show how versatile she is. She's doing 2 famous opera numbers, but she also loves musical theater too, and so she's going to be doing a few musical theater numbers.
She's doing a duet with Jared, Barbara Streisand and Judy Garland duet of Let's Get Happy.
Oh,
yeah,
fantastic.
So
they're doing
it's gonna
that,
be a lot of
so
fun.
that's going to be fun. And so, she's doing You'll Never Walk Alone from Carousel, and but then also doing an aria from Samson and Delilah and La Habanera from Carmen. So,
I mean, I imagine that that has to require specific guidance on behalf of the orchestra.
Yeah, so you got to change. You're right. To
styles.
change from Judy Garland to La Habanera is you've got to change the way you play. I mean, it's just totally different, And so, and there's a lot of that in the show. I mean, there's a lot. It's not just Jamie. I mean, Jamie is, in her world and the opera world, she's as big a star as there is. But in the Broadway world, we've got stars just like that too. And so everybody's kind of coming at it at that level, but it does require this particular show. Like if we're just doing, let's say we're doing Les Mis, we're doing the whole Les Mis, right? So we would get into the mood for Les Mis, right? And we play the whole. We're playing a character too, in a sense, and that's the musical style of Schoenberg all the way through. But to do 24. Let's see. There's 2 art songs. I haven't done the math. How many different Broadway productions? I think there's like 22 different Broadway productions. We're doing 2 from Les Mis. 21 or 22 different musicals are being represented Thursday night.
Wow.
So that's a lot of changing, and very few of them are similar. I mean, I don't know. Carousel and South Pacific are maybe a little bit similar in style, and
the
Les Mis and
Hammerstein
Fama,
Well, there's a lot of. I mean, the whole point of your favorites are favorites. So as I asked each artist, pick one favorite that the audience is going to know. All right, your Phantom, your Les Mis, your Jekyll and Hyde, and then pick one song, our favorites, that means something to you, or that's something you've always wanted to sing with a 12-piece orchestra. And then, so that's kind of the idea behind it.
But the great thing is, I think every tune is one the audience is going to love.
Yeah.
I was expecting, when he gave me this idea, I'm like, okay, well, we're going to get half the program where the audience is going to love it. And then we're going to have the program, this esoteric academic stuff where everybody. I sang this in college and I never got a chance to do it again.
Yeah.
So this is my chance.
Einstein on the beach or something.
Right,
like, this isn't going to work.
But turns out that their favorites were also fantastic tunes. Like one of the singers, it's a gentleman who's singing "I Dreamed a Dream."
Mm-hmm.
From Les Mis, which is everybody's favorite, right? But he's never going to get to sing it.
Yep.
So this is his chance. This is my favorite. I want to sing it. And I'm like, well, we know that too. So I think pretty much everything. There's maybe a couple that'll be unfamiliar, but they're great tunes too. And so I think you may walk in and you see a list and think, well, there's 3 I don't know, and you're going to walk out and those may be your 3 favorites on the show. I don't know.
So tickets are still available, and honestly, after this conversation, if the array of Broadway stars and Atlanta stars that are going to be performing, if that's not enough to come out and see this family-friendly production, then hey, coming to see the orchestra hop back and forth is going to be a thrill, no doubt.
Well, that's right, and also there are 3 local. I say kids. I'm going to say kids because I'm old
they're
enough
still
to say
kids to us.
They're still in college.
Sure. Yeah.
They're college, or Taya's in high school still.
Yeah, that's true.
but you watch these kids grow. Blair Lipham, watch Blair grow up. She's the granddaughter of Tracy Stallings, who started the Carroll Symphony, right? So to get Blair to come back from Vanderbilt and get to sing in her hometown is fantastic, right? So we get to see her. We saw her in Sister Act and other things when she was in high school, and now to get to hear how she's doing. For Anna to fly back in from New York and to sing and get to hear her here again, and then to hear Taya, whom I hope people heard in Little Shop of Horrors over the summer, which again we did together.
We did
for the Carrollton Teen Theater. But for her to get to have a bigger stage, to see the local. I say kids. I shouldn't say kids, but I'm
these young adults.
Yeah, well, one of them's my kid.
So so you can say kids.
So I'm going to say kids, but to get to hear them too. So it's just a feel good. It's going to be a great night. I mean, there's nothing else better. Come,
whatever you got going on.
What are you going to do?
If you have a child that is at all loves to perform, or has this eccentric acting bug that they love to do, they will know after this show if they want to do this.
There should be 400 middle schoolers at this concert. If you've got a kid in 7th grade, they need to be at the show.
We're going to go ahead and take our second break, but when we come back, we will wrap up our conversation with Taylor Buice, founder of Wallace Buice Theater and Bicentennial, as well as Terry Lowry, music director for the program and composer and conductor of the Carroll Symphony Orchestra, as we discuss your favorites, our favorites, a benefit concert for the Wallace Buice Theater Company and scholarship. So stay with us.
Health is a journey. It's making better choices, even when it's not easy. It's taking care of yourself and the people you love. At Tanner Health System, we're there for you with every step, with primary care, heart care, cancer care, women's care, orthopedics, surgical services, and so much more. We're dedicated to helping you live and feel your best. So let's get on that journey to health. You've got places to be for many years to come. Find us at tanner.org.
Oak Mountain Academy has offered a challenging college preparatory education for 60 years. With over 500 graduates, we have maintained a 100% college acceptance rate. Over 90% of our students earn acceptance to their first choice of college or university, and over the past 5 years, our students have earned over $10 million in scholarship offers. Our students are creating a legacy. Come, be a part of our family and create your own legacy today. To learn more, visit us at oakmountain.us.
Welcome back to Community Voice. I'm your host, Josh Engel. We're chatting with Terry Lowry and Taylor Buice about the Your Favorites, Our Favorites, a benefit concert for the Wallace Buice Theater Company and scholarship. If you're just tuning in, we were live streaming on Facebook, so if you'd like to go back and watch this production, or watch the video, there's going to be a lot of information about the show coming up this Thursday. We only have a couple of minutes left, so I would like to speak briefly on the scholarship winners who will be performing, as well as where folks can get tickets, although there will be tickets available at the door.
Yes, our scholarship performers are going to be Anna Lowry, who received it in 2019. She's going to be, I think she's singing Popular from Wicked, which is going to be great. And then Taya Taylor, who we mentioned, who's our recipient this year, and she's going to be singing Part of Your World from Little Mermaid. And yeah, so that's going to be great. And, tickets, if you want to go online, Brown Paper Tickets is the website, and you can just type in your favorites, and it'll come right up. But I encourage everyone, just come to the venue. There are plenty of tickets available, and we want to, fill these seats as much as possible. Not only to help raise money for the scholarship, but for Carrollton to see these amazing, amazing people, and to see what Terry and I can bring to this town. And like I said, I believe it's a once-in-a-lifetime concert, and we hope to see you all there.
Terry, we have 1 minute left. Any final words?
No, you just come. You got to come to this show. I know there's a lot of shows. I sit in this chair and talk about lots of concerts all year long. You've got to come to this show. This is going to be an amazing night. It's a big deal. It's a really big deal. So whatever you've got planned Thursday nights, I promise this is going to beat it.
This is going to deliver. Again, that is Your Favorites, Our Favorites, a benefit concert for the Wallace Buice Theater Company and Scholarship. That is this Thursday, November 11th at 7 p.m. at the Carroll County Performing Arts Center. Gentlemen, thank you both for taking the time to join us this morning.
Thank you, Josh.
And everyone at home, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time.